There's a look that can read you, even when you smile. If this has ever happened to you, it wasn't an accident. Stay until the end. You will discover why certain eyes unsettle you and what they reveal about your shadow. If you feel even a shiver, you're not alone. Jung explained it with uncanny precision. Have you ever met someone's gaze and felt a sudden inner vibration, as if that person knew, understood, and saw too much? Have you ever felt that gaze could penetrate the mask you wear every day and reach the most fragile and authentic part of your being? The eyes don't require words, yet they reveal everything we try to hide, revealing emotions we ourselves struggle to recognize. It's as if they hold ancient stories, unexpressed desires, and fears we dare not name. According to Jung, the gaze belongs to the depths of the psyche, not to mere conscious control. The most uncomfortable truth resides within them, the truth we cannot control. When we observe another, something within us recognizes a profound, often unspeakable truth, which evokes submerged memories and ineffable perceptions. It is a meeting of souls, not faces. The eyes don't lie. Humans have perfected the art of the mask, forced smiles, firm voices, studied postures, controlled attitudes. We show ourselves as we wish to be perceived, not as we truly are. However, there is a dimension that escapes voluntary control, the gaze. The eyes betray what the ego desperately tries to hide, displaying a sincerity that is, at times, brutal. According to Jung, the gaze belongs to psychic depth, not mere conscious control. It is the most vulnerable part of us that surfaces in the eyes. Jung emphasized that the unconscious can reveal itself with a sincerity that the conscious cannot control. The eyes are the mouth of the soul, and the soul cannot pretend as well as the ego. What is authentic sometimes inspires fear. The look speaks before the word. Inside each of us lies a part we don't want to see, what we judge, what we fear, what we wish to eliminate from ourselves. It is the darkest fragment of our wounded humanity. Jung defined it as the shadow, a tangle of repressed impulses, unresolved traumas, and denied truths that we refuse to acknowledge. The shadow, for Jung, holds vital fragments of our emotional identity. It resides in the eyes, for there nothing can be censored. Every look is a gateway to the inner mystery. The eyes speak the language of secrets. When we meet another's gaze, we don't simply observe a face, but fears, deep wounds, and unexpressed desires. Every eye contact is also a mirror that reflects our psychic universe. Often, what unsettles us is our own shadow, recognized in the other. What we fear in the eyes of others often lives in our own. Eye contact generates instant attraction or repulsion, as if two souls were establishing a preliminary dialogue before the rational mind even intervenes. The unconscious perceives the other before logic has time to formulate a thought. The eyes possess a silent grammar, the language of unheard emotions, unexpressed fears, truths knocking to be recognized. A silent gaze intertwines inner stories, desires for communion, fears of abandonment, and hopes for emotional redemption. Every glance contains a hidden question. Are you a danger, or are you home? Whose eyes have you never forgotten? Let us know in the comments. The hardest truth to accept is that we never fall in love by chance. The unconscious perceives the other before logic has time to formulate a thought. We are attracted to those who embody what we lack, to those who rekindle unspeakable desires, to those who touch wounds that still bleed. It is a magnetic force that transcends all logic. This is why eyes exert such a profound fascination. They embody the seduction of the shadow. Jung observed that in relationships, repressed contents emerge and are projected onto the other, revealing parts we would prefer to ignore. True love reveals what we would rather hide, disarming our internal defenses. Sometimes looking at someone is like peering into an abyss that speaks our name, calling us with a call we cannot escape. We are attracted by wounds, not by chance. Not all gazes radiate light. The unconscious perceives the other before logic has time to formulate a thought. There are eyes devoid of human warmth, incapable of empathy, opaque mirrors that absorb without returning. They are eyes filled with emptiness, cold as stone, that observe not to understand, but to control. Jung spoke of individuals whose conscious personality is separated from the emotional core, generating a gaze that seems devoid of inner grounding. Individuals with an excessively repressed shadow, narcissists, emotional predators, manipulators, use their gaze as a weapon of psychological domination. They hypnotize, analyze, possess. The victim remains helpless, often unaware of the nature of what is troubling them. The shadow recognizes the shadow. This is why certain gazes provoke profound uneasiness even for no apparent reason. Nothing disarms like feeling seen where we are most vulnerable. When the gaze doesn't return, something goes out. For Jung, eyes are intimately linked to the dream dimension, a place where the psyche communicates through archetypes and symbolic images. In dreams, eyes become a symbol and a bridge to repressed contents that demand a voice. When we dream of a gaze, we encounter a part of ourselves that demands to be heard, a desire that wants to emerge, a trauma that demands healing, a memory that seeks integration. Faces in dreams do not necessarily represent real individuals. They are psychic messengers, living symbols that seek interpretation. A dream gaze can make us feel loved or judged, protected or threatened, as it speaks directly to our unconscious truth. Dreams reveal to us what we avoid recognizing in the gaze of others and in our waking state. Dreams speak when you don't want to listen. Jung linked the eyes to three fundamental archetypes of the relational psyche. The anima or animus represents what attracts us because it embodies what we desire to become. They are the mysterious and magnetic dimension of the other. The self constitutes the deepest light of our essence, the vision of what we could become by embracing our total fulfillment. The shadow represents what we reject, but which cannot be eradicated, since it constitutes the psychic material of transformation. Every meeting of gazes activates an archetype. Every relationship is an ancient myth renewed in the present. When two eyes meet, two shadows begin to speak. In every glance, an archetype awakens. G, have you ever dared to hold your gaze in the mirror for more than a few seconds? There's rare courage in that gesture. Initial neutrality quickly turns to anxiety. You're looking at that part of yourself you've excluded for years, the part you judge and try to deny. The shadow can't stand the light. It fears being recognized and integrated. Yet that's precisely where the transformation of being begins. The moment what was rejected is finally welcomed. If you hear the silent call of these truths, do not run away. Write in the comments, "I look at the shadow." Sign up, ring the bell, and join us as we enter the deep unconscious.